All right, everyone, welcome to day three. Today, we are going to talk a bit about the Mount Olympus, the mount where the gods reside according to Greek mythology. The only formerly married husband of Aphrodite was Hephaestus, the one who forged metal, the one who was also connected as the volcano god. But all before that, we are going to talk a bit about Mount Olympus, Zeus, and others. So, according to the Greek tradition, Zeus is the ultimate god of all, or the ultimate king, and Hera, his consort, being the queen of gods. Together, they created different gods or gave birth to different gods, um, providing them different departments, so to speak. We're going to talk so much about it and how every single deity represents an aspect in our own consciousness, right? So let us prepare ourselves with the invocation and allow ourselves to receive. To the Supreme Essence, Divine Father and Divine Mother, our spiritual teachers, all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, holy saints, holy archangels, holy angels, beings of light, and all the great, great ones. We humbly invoke for divine guidance, divine love, illumination, divine oneness, abundance, peace, prosperity, spirituality, harmony, inner healing, divine help, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. To understand Hephaestus more deeply, we need to understand Prometheus first. So it is said, according to the Greek tradition, that Zeus was not the one who was ruling the whole world in the beginning. It is said that there were a class of gods called as the Titans who would be ruling the earth, and it was the rebellion with the Titans which was um, led by Zeus, Poseidon, and there's one more. I'm forgetting the name of that god, brother to Zeus, the god of the underworld, the god of hell, so to speak, the god of death. These three brothers decided to cause a rebellion and destroy or kill the power of the Titans so that they can establish a new rule. Prometheus was among the Titans. Prometheus was one of the Titans. However, did not Prometheus did not get himself involved with the rebellion or the power struggle. Prometheus was known to give the best gift to mankind, and that is the gift of fire. It is said that Prometheus stole the fire from Mount Olympus. The fire was supposed to be used only by the gods. And Prometheus, out of his love for mankind, that they need fire. With fire we can do so many things, right? We can cook food, we can feel warm during the winter. Right now, as I'm sitting here, the sunlight seems to be especially more bright after the winter solstice. It's amazing to see that. So basically, he gave forth the gift of fire to mankind. And because of his rebellion, not in a sense of war, but in a sense of gifting away the fire to mankind, he was banished from Mount Olympus. This fire, if you closely observe, is definitely the gift of technology. At a more deeper level, it is the gift of the mind. According to theosophical tradition, Lord Sanat Kumara, also called as the Lord Murugan in the Hindu tradition, or Lord Kartikeya, the elder brother to Lord Ganesha, is known to have come from Venus, again the planet connected to love, and bring forth the mental flame unto the planet Earth. Take a deep breath. In other words, according to Theosophy, humanity evolved at certain stages. At one stage evolving as a physical body, taking control of the physical body. At another stage in the Atlantean times, developing the emotional body. At another stage, the Aryan consciousness, the advent or the start of the Aryan consciousness, the mental body, or the gift of the mind, the gift to think freely. And of course, the humanity is continuously evolving. The current human race, which is the Aryan consciousness, which is the Aryan race, although pretty much advanced in the mental faculty, however, it's pretty much stuck to the mind. Whatever the linear mind cannot comprehend, the Aryan race tend to reject it. However, the interesting polarity here is this. When the linear mind evolves to a very high level, it automatically begins to comprehend the vast abstract concepts of multidimensionality, comprehending a whole lot when working with the heart, a whole lot about multi-dimensional reality. Take a full deep breath. So Prometheus gave the gift of fire, the gift of the mental flame, the gift of the mind, the gift of thinking, the gift of technology to mankind. So that is a very short example of how through certain Greek legends they were talking about certain steps or certain stages of evolution. Alright? Taking a deep breath again. Now coming back to Hephaestus, the husband to Aphrodite. Hephaestus is shown with anvil and hammer and is known to be the blacksmith of the gods. It is said that every throne of every god in Mount Olympus was forged by Hephaestus. And of course, when it's a blacksmith, what it is fire, of course, it is metal, it is art, it is science, it is technology. Hephaestus is the only Olympian god, the son to Zeus and Hera, who was exiled and was taken back. And there's a long story about it. And if you look at Aphrodite, she is all about love. Hephaestus here represents all about the mind, the intelligence. So it is the marriage of Hephaestus and Aphrodite, basically the marriage of the heart and the head, that allows both of them to have a place in Olympus, so to speak. Taking a full deep breath. Zeus, representing the supremacy, is usually shown with a bolt of light. According to the Hindu tradition, Lord Indra is shown with a Vajra. His weapon is Vajra, and is known to be the ruler of the heavens. This Vajra, this lightning bolt, is actually, at a deeper level, is a willpower. There is no force more stronger than your willpower. You can have all kinds of things going on, all kinds of energies trying to mess around. But when you develop willpower, to go more deeper, surrendered willpower which is not arrogant, but willpower which really, really, really wants to work the will of God, God is all there is. When you develop it to a very high degree, nothing can stop you from manifesting whatever you want. Okay? So, Zeus represents, just like Lord Indra, holding the lightning bolt, represents the willpower. Take a full deep breath. Today's session might go a bit scientific. According to modern science, this entire earth was actually nothing but a soup of gases and trace elements and minerals, life was not possible. Okay? So once upon a time, out of the randomness, the lightning bolts enter the earth through whatever chemical reaction in the universe, in the solar system, in the sky, and this lightning, which acted as a catalyst, triggered the creation of the DNA. And when the creation of the DNA was done because of the lightning bolt as a catalyst, plants, animals, and humans were created. Of course, it took many, many, many years to cool down the earth. This lightning carried on for a very long time. It was not just 1 second. Lightning happened and DNA was created. No, it was many, many years, hundreds and thousands of years. The lightning continued this chemical reaction, this alchemy, and thus the DNA was formed, and thus the structure of the plants, animals, and humans was defined. So if you look closely, if there was no lightning bolt, there would be no life, right? If there would be no lightning bolt, there would be no life. In the same manner, Zeus represents the founder of life, at least on this planet, the planet Earth. Mount Olympus represents the various aspects of our psyche, of our human personality. For example, Aphrodite representing the love. And every god, I think they talk about 12 gods. It's very interesting. We have 12 hours as well and 12 months. Every god, every major god in the Olympian tradition representing one aspect of our life. Aphrodite representing love. Athena representing assertiveness, healthy boundaries. Apollo representing the spirit of the sun, the physical sun, the warmth, the strength of the physical sun, healing as well. It's very interesting to know that the Greeks already knew the healing benefits of the sun rays, just like the Vedic Aryans are aware of the healing benefits of the sun, especially in the winters. It's so beneficial. It's always good to go out and take some healthy sun bath for a few minutes at least. Ares, the god of war, representing the spirit of the war, the spirit of the fighter, just like Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, representing the spirit of the warrior, is guided by the divine. It is also very interesting to note that all these Greek gods and goddesses, they had their own human quirks. They had their own human mistakes. I don't know if these beings, whatever they talk about, really existed or not, but definitely these energies are definitely very, very alive when you connect with them energetically. For me, I had a lot of issue with healthy boundaries, and I started to work with Athena, and I realized that I started to develop strong willpower, at the same time strong assertiveness and healthy boundaries. It took my loved ones some time to adjust, but because they loved me, they continued, and in fact, they started to receive those transmissions of healthy boundaries on their own as well, unconsciously. Similarly, in the Hindu tradition, our gods are shown with particular human quirks, whether be it Lord Shiva or Parvati or Lord Vishnu. They're known to cheat sometimes or be disillusioned sometimes, although they are fully awakened of their true nature. Why is it like this? If they're true gods, then they should not be making mistakes. I think that is the beauty that our ancestors from every culture want to convey to us, that we are as much as divine, at the same time we are allowed to make mistakes. Yes, this seems very, very odd, but if you closely look at the Leela, at the conscious play, you realize why it is supposed to be like this. If you closely observe the activities of Lord Krishna in the Holy Scriptures, you will find that he is always conscious, but his Leela, his divine play, is being done to facilitate dharma on the planet, or to transmit spiritual teachings to the disciples. Okay? In the same manner, our soul, or the divine power, whatever that created us, created various aspects of ourselves. Desire, the physical body, the flesh, the hunger, the wisdom, the thirst for wisdom, and on and on. If you closely observe, you will realize that whatever that has ever happened in life, it all happened perfectly. And however life is flowing, it's all happening perfectly. And whatever will happen perfectly, whether we understand it or not. It might take us a whole long time to understand, but once we wake up to this aha moment, we realize that, oh, it was all perfect. It is all perfect. So coming back to Hephaestus, Hephaestus represents not just the fire, not just the intelligence, but dynamic intelligence. Mark the difference between the two. It's not just intelligence, that it is aware, it is now closed down or not active. It is dynamic intelligence. It is using hammer and anvil. It is using the logic, the reasoning, the intuition to mold thrones of the gods. It is exiled from Mount Olympus because of being deformed, I think in one leg, which totally represents the intelligence which is very useful, very divine, but not complete on its own. It cannot stand on one leg properly. However, when the same being, the being representing dynamic intelligence, works on it, uses the hammer and anvil, the logic and the intuition together, it is able to create the seat of divinity. You might have heard about in the Bhagavad Gita the path of the Gnana Yoga and the path of the Karma Yoga. So in some way, Hephaestus represents the merging of the Karma Yoga and the Gnana Yoga. In fact, when you look at all these different parts of Yoga Deepa, you realize that they're not separate. The highest pinnacle of Gnana is Bhakti. The highest pinnacle of Bhakti is Gnana. And someone who is truly a Bhakta, someone who is truly Agnani, is already a great Karma Yogi. Do you see? It appears to be separate, but actually, from a higher level, it is all one. This path of love yoga that we talk about daily, it's day 3 here, it's about the path of love. Not necessarily the path of devotion, but the path of love, experiencing the oneness with God, all that is, the creator, creatoress, whatever you like to call it, Shakti, Shiva, however you refer to it, experiencing it not only within but also outside, and allowing this love frequency to beam through to create circumstances, situations which represent love itself. I think all of us who have been working on the spiritual path for so long, we cannot hold intense anger or intense hatred for very long. If we keep it somehow, maybe for a few months, at extreme cases, or maybe even a year or two, we realize that we start feeling burdened. We cannot help, but we have to forgive. This is how the frequencies work. If you're not doing conscious inner purification, you will be forced to do inner purification because you'll be feeling so heavy that as a gift to yourself and of course other person, but more to yourself, you will end up sending unconditional love to this other being. However, the one thing that we lack during this forgiveness process is the forgiveness toward ourselves. We are so harsh on ourselves. We are so limited into giving love, unconditional love to ourselves. When it comes to our children especially, it automatically, spontaneously flows, or to our spouse or someone outside or a friend. But when it comes to ourselves, we do not give it. That is what the concept of love yoga is all about. Bringing this energy of love first within yourself, this unconditional self-love first to yourself, and then allowing yourself to be so filled with this self-love. As you continue to practice self-love, you will realize the difference between selfishness and self-love, as we talked about, I think, in day one. Your cup runneth over so much that you automatically become like a sun that irradiates this joy, this lightness of love, this warmth. And people who come in contact with you, they start to notice the beauty of the sun as they connect with you. They notice the talents beaming, bursting out through you. They notice the light and wisdom and clarity bursting out through you. The secret? Self-love. Let us go into an intense transmission today, where we are going to facilitate the balancing of the heart and the head, and using these two seemingly polar or separate forces, yin-yang forces, Aphrodite and Hephaestus, to bring forth more awareness or illumination. The complete balancing of the yin-yang is the only way to awaken the sacred Ganesha archetype within. Alright. By the way, before we go into the transmission, I had one question from our friend Richa. If you're having any questions, simply unmute yourself from the past days. Everyone, you just unmute yourself. Okay? So, Richa said in one of the transmissions, I think it was in day one, she said, "My palms are burning." So, Richa, it seems like in that transmission, you were letting go of the anger to be not able to handle things properly. You know, there was so much of criticism and so much of anger about wanting to be quote unquote perfect about whatever you're handling, be it family or work, maybe both, that this transmission was helping you to release it. A lot of times people feel burning in the body when they work with high frequencies. It's nothing but the transformation of the energy of small a anger which basically, uh, you know, uses you like a camphor. You simply vaporize. Harisha says, "My palms are still burning." Good for you. And uh, when there's a capital A anger, that capital A anger comes with consciousness. It is like the capital A anger of the goddess Kali. She's clearing the way and she's restoring dharma. Anger basically means something is not right and I need to fix it. There's nothing wrong with any emotion. If you look into all the stories of the gods, not only in the Greek tradition, but also the Hindu tradition, they are shown with different human emotions and different human quirks and different human mistakes and being disillusioned. And sometimes you wonder if they are so perfect, why they are making these human mistakes. These stories somehow are talking to us and telling us, hey, in order to be divine, you don't need to be perfect. This is a vast concept. This is something that is totally outrageous because we have always known divine to be perfect. Perhaps in the imperfection lies the perfection. Taking a full deep breath. So, if you have any more questions, anyone, you can just unmute yourself and then we can go ahead with today's transmission. I was reading a bit about Aphrodite, and one of the children of Aphrodite was Psyche, Psyche. Psyche, talking about the inner map of what is going on within, why it's going on, and how. There are many children connected to her. Alright then, let's go ahead with our transmission.